Welcome back to another episode of Diamond Podcast. I'm your host, Alfredo Diamond, local realtor, local entrepreneur, community advocate. I have a special guest today here, and so excited to have him here today. We've done this once before, but it was not such the best professional format. So today is a much different format, and I just want to welcome such a positive person for our community. He's always just speaking well on the community and advocates for our community. And local entrepreneur Sam Patel, Best Western Hotels. Sam, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Dale.
Hey, you're welcome, man. It's a pleasure, man. I think you're an inspiration, and just wanted to take a deeper dive with you today and just talk about your journey. So, Sam, man, hotel. I'm going right in. How does a guy get to where he purchases a hotel?
Well, it started from the family. It's a family business.
Okay.
So I was in Chicago back, and then I got married into. My wife is from the hotel side of the business, so her family is in hotels. So we kind of started saving money. First of all, that's very important. So while we were working and everything, we started saving some money, and then, of course, her side of the family helps us to get into a hotel. They've been established in Richmond for a very long time. So we ended up buying one of his hotel with his help, of course. And some of our money, and then he helped us to get some. So family is always important. They help you, to at least start. And then we bought our first hotel, which was back in 2006. That was a Days Inn. Currently, it's Travel Lodge, but it used to be Days Inn back then.
You still own that one?
No, we don't own that
Okay.
anymore. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We sold that back in 2019, right before COVID.
Okay.
Yes. So that's how I got in. Of course, financing is always a challenge. So, first-time buyer, it was really hard to get financing. But with the help of, established family member in the hotel business, we did get some financing and we started. Working hard is really good, because me, my wife, even my kids, they helped out while we were, hands-on all the time, locally owned hotels. So we were always there. Personal attention, personal guest, attention to detail on cleaning. And, when you are in a hotel business, that's very important. Cleaning the rooms and all that, personal touch on us, service, guest services. When people walk in, they're expecting, good hospitality, basically. Clean rooms are a must because they are expecting what they are seeing in their house. So we actually. Being a family hands-on every time at the hotel, we actually built a very good relation with all our guests, even on a smaller hotel like that. So we had built regular guests throughout the, a relationship that was built throughout our years in that Days Inn.
Repeat clientele.
Repeat clientele, It came to the point where guests were not coming in for Days Inn. They were coming in because I owned the hotel.
Wow.
So they were like, as long as Sam is there, we want to go. Even though it was like a economy segment of hotel, we made it so much so that people liked it. And then we had an opportunity back in 2016 to acquire another family hotel, which was in town, which was Best Western. Same thing, with family's help, we got in. This time we had more monies to come up with, since we were really doing good at Days Inn. So it was a family business, but we came up with our own money at that time with banks financing and everything. Of course, at that time, our local bank here was really helpful to bring us into that next step. It was West End Bank at that time.
Yeah.
Um, you know, Now Ben Brock, maybe you all know about him.
It's my guy. Shout out Ben Brock.
So Ben Brock
Except a lot of
is
people.
Ben Brock is our savior, I guess. He knows our operations.
Yeah.
He knows
Very
how
good.
we operate our hotels. So he's the one who got us into the Best Western by financing that. And then, of course, First Bank Richmond is always our partner. That was our first hotel. Days Inn was financed through them. So local banks, stay local is very helpful. I would say, we are locally owned and operated, even though we are franchised hotel, but we are hands-on, always there to take care of the guest or local in the community here. When you are local, it always helps, because then people know you. It's easy. It makes your life easier to live and work in the same community. People are always helpful, friendly. So savings is really good if you want to get into a hotel business or any business, for example.
You've got an obvious proven track record of success, and I'm sure it makes it easier. You definitely know what you're doing. I need you to go into details, but just how much money are we talking? Like down payment, operation cost. I mean, you've got to have some carrying costs for 2 or 3 years probably to get a business going. I mean,
yeah. So
how much are we talking?
So we're even a smaller hotel. We are talking about close to if you want to get into just a hands-on.
How many units?
Mom and pop hotel, like if you want to get into something like, let's say, for example, at Days Inn. The revenues, there is usually the revenues, the hotel is a real estate business, actually, to be honest. So you are investing into land, building, so technically it's just like real estate.
And it appreciates.
Yeah, it appreciates. More of it doesn't appreciate that much like the house does, but it appreciates if you do well in business.
Business, yeah.
Yes. Let's say if the hotel is doing $500,000 a year in a business.
Profit or revenue?
Revenue.
Okay.
Gross revenue. Right. So general idea is to get into that kind of hotel. It's usually because of the real estate value, it's about 3.5 to 4 times in today's market. Before, when I got it, it was around three times the revenue.
Okay.
That's how you evaluate your hotels.
So $1.5 million.
Correct. Yes.
Because you're selling the business, you're selling the operation.
Yes.
And that's what's appreciating.
Correct. Yes. So let's say of course, the way it appreciates is if that 500 went to 600, 700, depending on how you do.
Gotcha.
And that is where your value is.
Okay.
You don't want to let the volume go down. You want to keep it there so that your valuation stays as your market is staying. Of course, competition and things like that come and change your valuations always. But that's where your personal touch comes in.
So how would competition influence that? How would that impact your?
So competition influence because some markets are good. Some markets are not good for competitions. In the sense is like Richmond is a leisure market and a corporate market, and we are off of I-70, so that brings a lot of traffic in. So it requires, there is enough market for everybody to survive as of today.
Okay.
But when more hotels pops in and things like that, it does affect a little bit. And especially the smaller hotels, mom and pops because they don't have that brand support.
Mm-hmm.
So big brands have a support system, you know, but some of the hotels don't have that brand support.
Mm-hmm.
And in today's guests, they look for the brand support, because they want to make sure everything is good when they walk in.
And you're talking a big name, Best Western,
Correct.
Holiday
Yes.
Inn.
Big name, Holiday Inn, Best Western, Hamptons, your Hiltons, So like everybody's looking for that brand, to fall back on if something goes wrong in their stay.
Do,
And
do these brands seek you out, or you just part of your business plan going in?
so yeah, business plan. It's easier to get. Let's say if there is a nice brand out there, it's easier to get financed.
Okay.
Because banks also look for a stable business,
Uh-huh.
and when the brand supports you, it's well recognized brand throughout throughout the U.S. or in the matter of fact in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Then the banks wants to make sure that they are also their investment is secure too. Typically when you have to get a finance, traditional way of financing is about 20% down
Okay.
on your valuation, whatever the appraised value comes up, of course. Those are same like how you do the house. It needs to appraise first. So 20% is your traditional going to
Business down payment.
business down
Commercial
payment.
line of credit.
Yeah, commercial line. But there are other ways. If you don't have 20%, there is a SBA financing, of course. So SBA has two different kind of programs, and those programs are offered by some of our local banks here too.
Mm-hmm.
They partner with SBA to do that. So in the beginning, it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
I won't suggest SBA all the time, but like when you're first-time buyers,
You have to pay these loans back. Pay these back, or are they grants?
no, you have to pay back.
Okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But those are like lower down payments, like 10%, 15%.
They hard to get.
It's both ways.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to prove yourself in when you are first-time buyer, because SBA is a really government funded, of course. So the banks don't take on that much of a risk because SBA is backing it.
Okay.
So it's easier to get financed because the banks SBA finances basically.
So like, are there franchise fees involved? And what kind of benefit do you get? Is it just the name brand recognition associated with it? What do you really
Yeah.
get?
So basically, it's a franchise. So
Gotcha.
franchise fees typically run in between 9 to about 11%
Wow.
of your revenue.
Okay.
So, and then they have a loyalty program, of course, their own rewards program and things like that. That helps drive revenue. So if you're a Best Western Rewards member, then you would tend to stay at Best Western hotels, things like that. So that brings a loyalty to the guest, to your brand.
Okay.
And it carries over, like it goes throughout the whole country. So just because you live in Arizona and if you're traveling through here, you're probably going to find a hotel here that is Best Western because you are a Best Western member. Things like that helps us drive revenue. Of course, it's a franchise, so we have to pay the fees. And they have very strict rules. We have to go through their standards. We have to keep our hotels up to the standards. We get inspected by Best Western, of course, every 6 months. So does all the big brands. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Is the brand kind of not only stands behind you, but also stands behind a guest that what to expect at their particular brand,
So how many units do you have? How many rooms do you have at your Best Western?
So Best Western, we have 69 units.
69.
69 rooms, yes. typically in today's days, 69 is very low volume units. If you have to build a brand new hotel, usually the brands want them above 100 rooms.
Wow.
If you want to build it.
You think it works with what your community here though, with the lower population?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we are like Best Western is expect some local traffic, but we are not only dependent upon the local community staying.
Yeah.
We are transit customers, transit guests, corporate guests who comes here in town for business.
Yeah, interviews. That's
yeah.
my next question. So
Yeah.
you have like corporate partners that they just reach out to you. Hey, we need so and so's coming into town. We need room for a week.
Exactly. Yeah.
That
Yeah,
type. Okay.
Yeah. So for IU East here, like when they have games and people coming here from out of town for games, we get business. IU East does send business to Best Western, of course.
That makes a lot of sense.
So when those colleges that have games and stuff, and people coming, even kids who come here, participants, this week we have today there is a golf tournament.
Okay.
IU East.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are hosting them actually. So they are staying at our hotels.
Oh, nice.
Again, so we have those. Then there is, of course, a lot of corporations here. So those corporations do have people stay with us. Reed Hospital typically stays with Hiltons.
Okay.
But we'll love to have that business, of course.
Shout out there, shout out Reed Hospital.
Yeah. I would say support local.
Yeah. Yep. And you do, Sam.
Yeah.
So recently here you had a ribbon cutting for some renovations that you had done, and also I believe you were acknowledged in the Community Improvement Awards as well.
Yes.
Share that. Like, what inspired you to invest into your building?
So here's what it is. Inspiration came from staying in the community and staying here. Back a few years back, right around COVID time.
Yeah.
There was a time in around COVID time. My son graduated. Oldest son graduated from Indiana Academy, and he went to Purdue, of course. But since he went to Purdue, which is 4 years local here, in state, and then my younger son was still, he's still in school. So we only have one hotel here, and then we have another hotel in Greenville, Ohio. So those are two hotels that we own outright. Not outright, but me and my wife owns it, of course.
When did you acquire that one?
Back in 2019.
Okay. I think we spoke about that opportunity.
Correct.
A long time ago. I didn't know you bought it.
So that was so those two hotels are like me and my wife are 100% shareholders there. But like we have other avenues that we have investor groups that we invest in. They are still in hotel business, but we don't like completely run those hotels. We just make investments and things like that. So what came to this is we wanted to stay local. We decided to spend our lives in Richmond. So instead of completely getting out of the business, we felt like we should invest in the hotel that we already have. So at least we have somewhere to go and, we don't want to stay home all the time, So this is our kind of, we're going to retire into this hotel, basically.
Okay.
So that...
It's your baby.
It's my baby.
Yeah,
So, me and my wife decided that the building was 20 years old. It was built back in 2020. 2000. Sorry, my bad. So it was showing the age. And then we have a lot of other hotels coming in. The Home 2 Suites opened up, Comfort opened up. So they were all newer hotels. So we wanted to, there was, there was a feeling that, we don't want to lose our business. We want to keep it up because then, sometimes people feel like, it's a rundown hotel. People don't put attention to it. And then you lose the guest. So we decided to go ahead and do the renovations and make the building look brand new. So actually, it turned out really good. The building, we've been
That's
getting
great.
The comments from guests are like, "Did you just build this?"
Yeah.
It's not a renovated hotel anymore. It looks like it's a brand new hotel.
Yeah.
Somebody just built it from ground up. So we put a lot of thoughts and a lot of things in there. Personal touch. I designed the whole hotel rooms.
Wow, you did.
So the furniture, I personally designed it.
Wow.
So the furniture that is in our rooms are specifically done through us. And then of course, CJM Jill and
Shout out Jill, CGM Construction. She was just on the
yeah,
show.
and then Whitewater, of course. So Whitewater,
Brian Ballinger.
yeah. So they all.
Oh, no, that's Brett Rowland.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
shout Brett.
yeah. So those are the two construction companies. They helped us finish what we wanted. It was something. I mean, we laid out a plan, and it was something that I wanted to do. Spend more than I wanted, of course.
But
But yeah.
kudos to you for
Yeah.
recognizing the opportunity and to do it now to reinvest in your business
Exactly.
for long-term success. That was great recognition in doing that.
So it turned out to be really good.
Yeah.
And actually, we went through the brand change. So now actually we are approved for Best Western Plus. So as soon as we change our signs, we are going to be a Best Western Plus, which is a step up from Best Western right now. So we are coming into the elites with the other people, other hotels around.
Oh, wow.
So actually, I'm introducing Best Western Plus here.
First time.
First time. Yes.
Congratulations.
It's been a works. We have worked really hard to make that happen, and the conversion will be really good.
Sam, you're such a great dude. You're such an inspiration, man. You brought up COVID earlier, and when you and I kind of talked through some of that stuff at that time, I mean, looking back, like, man, how'd you get through? Like, what steps did you take to stay proactive and stay engaged in your business and get through that?
Funny thing, actually, since we are not that big, we are family owned. Me and my wife owns it.
Yeah.
We bought Best Western in 2016, so our finance terms were pretty brand new. I mean, we hadn't paid much into it. You know how that works. 20-year financing, you're only third year, and then you hit into COVID. So it was really tough. It was really tough, Our business went down from, we went down to about 30% of what we used to do on a normal revenue. So it was really hard to survive. The best thing that happened is actually I had to lay off all my employees. That was really, really hard. Because we couldn't, of course, we don't have jobs, there is no rooms, so I had to lay everybody off, right? So that kind of hit because I had very regular, I mean, my employees been there with me for a very long time. So it was really hard for me to even tell them, I'm sorry.
Wow.
But of course, we had to do what we had to do to survive. And I ended up actually, it was really nervous, didn't know what to do. It was really nerve-wracking,
Yeah.
I actually had to come to the hospital here and make sure that everything was okay. That's how bad situation I was in. My family didn't know. I drove down here actually,
Like
'cause
stress or
my
heart?
stress and my heart rate was all up and all that. Because we had that 2 days I was in office and I was working. In the first 2 days when it was announced of COVID, the
I remember talking to you.
entire year's reservations were down to zero because everybody called off. Everybody said we are canceling. So we had this big stack of reservations for the whole year gone down to zero.
For the whole year. Wow.
So technically that hurts because that's your bread and butter, right?
Yeah,
I
your
mean, that's
pipeline.
what you do, So it was really hard for me to take. I felt like we are going to lose everything, that we have accomplished throughout these years, But then when I came to the hospital and when they were checking me up and everything, and I was like, okay, this is not who I am. Because we came from a very lows in our life when we were in Chicago. And I was like, okay, if I'm going to survive in $500 then,
You can make it work.
I can make it now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that kind of told me, and I even told the doctor, I was like, you know what, I'm okay now. Let me go home.
Really?
Yeah,
Everything's good.
Yeah, I was like, you know what, because it just clicked me. It was like, okay, you know what, if I survived then,
Yeah.
when I had nothing,
Yeah.
I can survive now.
Yeah.
So it just clicked me, and I was like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
So I went back, started adjusting everything, and next thing you know, we figured out how to survive COVID. And that was the hardest part about it, that we figured it out how to do it. The banks, of course, helped. Since it was, that's the thing, is its beauty about those things is when you start banking with local people, they help you when the times aren't good.
Yeah.
So banks helped us. They shut our mortgage down for 9 months.
Wow.
So we didn't have to pay mortgage. Kind of
Wow.
helped. So there is a lot of things that came along. Again, the government helped a little bit. Local community helped. They came up with the COVID relief fund.
Yeah.
So the Wayne County had that COVID relief fund that came and helped. So there was a lot of combination of things that we had to do creative to keep us afloat in those times. And hotels actually bounced back really good after COVID. So that helped. It was the first hotel and restaurants were the first to hit really hard in COVID, and those are the first two that came back really strong after COVID. So,
Do you think you have that time going to the hospital and laying there reflecting about everything and just that relief coming over you and have a different outlook on managing the business moving forward? Does that still carry with you today?
Yes. So COVID was a surprise. It was a shock. And that made us realize that we should be more prepared when it comes to business because you never know what happens.
Yeah.
So, like backups are always good. It's no more like, we save for a couple of months of rainy day funds. You have to think a little bit longer term. Is COVID going to come back like that again? I don't know, but hopefully that prepared us for future, being really proactive versus trying to figure out what to do when that actually hits. So we are prepared now, for anything, of course.
Yeah. Sam, you're a true inspiration. You're a true example of a successful entrepreneur, and I look forward to continue seeing your success and you invest into our community. When you think about your path and your family and raising your kids and juggling the business, is there anyone out there that you would like to give a shout out to today, just to thank you on your journey or anything like that? Who would you shout out today?
I actually, especially a big shout out to my wife. She has been a a support throughout our journey. Another shout out, my oldest son has sacrificed a lot with us. So I mean, he has. We never spent a parenting time with him. That's his biggest sacrifice. That we were coming together. We were running our own business. We never had time for him. And I still regret that. But we had to do what we had to do to be where we are today. And he understands that, but
you want him to know.
Yeah,
you want him to know. You recognize.
He has to. I mean, he's at a better place now. He understands that that what we did was good. But we regret it. That is my biggest regret, is I did not have time for him.
Yeah.
Turning around, we are trying to give enough time to our younger son.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was one of the reasons we sold Days In, is because when Kush left, his name is Kush, by the way, older son. When he left, we felt like we should have enough time for our younger son. So we kind of switched gears, and we started giving more attention to him. So.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
We can go on and on, Sam. You've got a great story, humble beginnings, very humble, very involved in our community, very supportive of Wayne County. And I just can't thank you enough for being here today. And I look forward to continue to be successful and to be my friend. I call you my friend. I can appreciate you, man.
Of course, always. Yeah.
Hey, thanks for being here, brother. And that wraps up another episode of Diamond Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great weekend.